Have you ever thought, is your to-do list keeping you busy while blocking your growth? Now we've been building our routine around daily task lists for centuries, and yet our modern to-do list often leaves us busy, distracted, and stuck. Early in my career, I thought to-do lists were just a productivity tool. But after 18 years inside large global organizations, leading multi-million dollar projects, managing priorities, deadlines, and teams, I see to-do lists totally differently now. A to-do list only works when it functions as a workflow decision system. And in this video, I will show you a simple process to turn your to-do list from a task dump into exactly that. But first, let's understand why are our brains wired for a list. Now, there are three reasons behind it. The first one is cognitive overloading. Our brain is built to think and ideate, not to store information. So when you write a task down, you free your working memory. Your brain can now focus on solving problems instead of trying to remember them. Second is the Zeigarnik effect, a psychological phenomena where we remember incomplete tasks better than the ones that we have completed. You see, unfinished tasks creates a mental tension and our brain keeps circling back to them. So when we create a list, it acts as a release valve. Writing down tasks tells your brain that the information is stored, so it stops pulling your attention back. Third is dopamine. Every time you take something off, your brain releases a small hit of dopamine. That feeling of control, the sense of progress, that is real. We've all experienced it. Some of the most successful people have converted this natural inclination into powerful workflow decision system, but only when you do it the right way. Because a broken listing system can end up as a dashboard of failures. And I have experienced that. Now, the first step in this system is capture. As a founder and a marketer, I'm always working across multiple projects, decisions, and meetings. And for a long time, I would list every task and immediately prioritize and schedule it. That led to a real crisis in time management and prioritization. So I stopped doing that. This system, my first step is to simply write everything down and move on. Get everything out of my head into one place, that's it. Now you can use any note taking app or a physical notebook, whatever works for you. I use Notion on my phone where every idea, task, and commitment lands the moment it appears. Not two places, not three, just one place. This input could be anything, your emails, messages, verbal commitment, your routine. Just make sure they all flow into one place because you cannot manage what you are mentally tracking across five different systems. Capture everything, but do not organize, do not prioritize, do not estimate time. Just get it out of your head. That alone neutralizes the Zeigarnik effect. Your brain is no longer drawn back to what is incomplete. Now, the second step is clarity. Once your tasks are listed, it is time to get clarity on them. You see, your initial raw input from the capture stage are often vague, unexecutable, or just daily routines. For example, drink 8 glasses of water, do 10-minute stretch, walk 10,000 steps, journal for 15 minutes or meditate for 30 minutes, run a half marathon under 2 hours, improve your website traffic for 2%, do 5 sales calls, and the list goes on. So after you've listed down everything, your next step is to get clarity on each one of these items. What is it? A routine task, a long-term goal, a one-off task? Each type requires different time, effort, and planning. Tag each of these items by context, energy, and urgency. Where does it need to happen, at home or at office? What level of focus is required? Is it a routine or a one-off task? How urgent it is? Because when you do this, you stop treating a sales call and a meditation practice as the same kind of task. You stop scheduling a long-term goal the same way you schedule your routine. Everything finds its rightful place in your day because mixing different tasks into one to-do list, that is one of the most common hidden productivity leak. By the way, if you're new to the channel and want to learn more about being productive in your life and career, do like and subscribe. All right, now you made your list and you've categorized the item. Now it's time to prioritize and commit to them. Now here's the problem with this. Every day we have only finite amount of time, finite energy, finite focus. And yet it is our tendency to squeeze in that one extra task every time. This breaks prioritization, it makes this entire system ineffective. So before you commit, your objective is to close the gap between what you want to achieve and your actual capacity for the day. I learned this the hard way. I used to commit to way more tasks than I could handle. It completely destabilized how I worked. So I changed my strategy. First, I set my daily capacity, time blocks, how much effort I need to invest. Then I pick 3 to 4 tasks that I want to commit to for the day. Now here's the challenge. How do you pick this task when your list is so much longer? And that's the usual case with me running a startup, doing mentorship session, managing other commitments. So here's my process. I start with one task, one thing I need to ship or meaningfully advance that day. That is my anchor. Every other task is prioritized around it. Next, I make it executable, define the specific action, establish a clear output. Then I decide on the investment, the time blocks, the level of focus that is required for this particular task. Now, my most productive hours every day is from 6 to 8 a.m. That is when I'm the sharpest. So, my most important task gets that slot. Once locked in, I add the next priority and so on until I have 3 or 4 critical tasks for the day. Now, there are two rules you should follow. First, accept your capacity constraint. You cannot do everything. Conscious selection and elimination is the key. Deciding what not to do is as important as deciding what you want to do. Second, include at least one needle mover task. These are tasks that must advance a long term, non urgent project. For example, running a marathon in under 2 hours. You won't achieve that in one day, but daily action moves the needle over time. So, your daily commitment should include one such task. Over time, this will become a habit, and this entire process will stop you from firefighting daily. You would know which 3 4 tasks to pick, and you will make optimal use of your finite capacity. Now, step 4 is calendar. Calendar confirms your commitment. Take these 3 4 committed tasks and mark their time block into a calendar. This is not optional because when you put a task in a calendar, you immediately see whether you actually have the time to focus on them. It forces honesty, it clarifies your capacity. Start with a 60-minute to 2 hour block for your highest focus work. Treat those blocks the same way you would treat a meeting with someone important, totally non negotiable. Now, here's one pro tip. Every time you switch tasks, there's a transition or context switching cost. This is the mental toll you incur when shifting attention from one task to another. Most of us don't account for it, and that gap creates tension in our schedule. Build small gaps between major tasks. Reset. This will protect your next block. Now, step 5 is daily reset. Now, this last step has been very critical to how I plan my next day. You see, a system will only work if you trust it, and trust comes when the system consistently works for you. So, here's what I do. At the end of every day, I follow a simple shutdown ritual. It has 3 steps. First, I review my scheduling. What did I complete? What did I not complete? Was the time blocking effective? Anything unfinished gets rescheduled, not abandoned. The second step is I reflect. I spend about 10 to 15 minutes going over what I achieved and what I did not. You see, not every day is going to be perfect. Some days you won't accomplish much. That is totally fine. But this reflection teaches me what's working and how to improve the system. The third thing I do is I refine. Before I close the day, I refine my plan for the next day. Define exactly what my first task is going to be. One clear starting point already decided. Now, this one habit eliminates what I call morning decision cost. The 20 minutes I used to spend staring at a full list of work, wondering where to start. That cost is now gone before the next day even begins. So, there you go, a simple system to list your tasks and prioritize them. You see, we live in an age of overwhelming distraction. Failing to list and prioritize is one of the core reasons people stay busy without being productive. So, build a simple system like this, organize your day, make it more productive. So, this is it for the week. If you like the video, do like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.